Oh my goodness. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I hope all of you are having a wonderful, wonderful day. I have been really thinking about what is the most impactful content that I can deliver this holiday season. And I was thinking about how many people out there have an awesome class that's kind of inside of them or something that they haven't actually published yet. And I thought, okay, what is something that I can do today to help people wrap their heads around things like automation and sequencing or bad automation? So, a couple of things. I have never been a believer in over spamming any audience. And there's a couple of reasons why. I think most of us can admit that lately LinkedIn has been one of these things where you're getting really terrible messages that are clearly being done, in an automated fashion. And what's happening is that you get these messages and you go, "Oh, hi, good morning. Hi, Melody. Nice to see you." You get these automated messages and then you go like, "Ugh, this is not what I want." And what I've recognized is there are a couple of things that I think most people aren't considering when they hire or they use software for a platform. So a couple of things to note around kind of bad automation practices. Anytime you use a tool that doesn't actually allow you to it's not an approved tool of a platform. You actually risk what is called like getting, blocked or violated from different tools. So, for example, LinkedIn, this is the screen we all know and love. Most of us are on LinkedIn or you're just starting out on LinkedIn. So, what we've seen is this rise of these tools that do automation, right? So, we've all seen this. You get a spam message, they call you sir when you're a ma'am, and they kind of, oh, I appreciate the connection. And then it immediately goes to trying to book an appointment. So, a couple things to know. I know five people, all people except for one that I advised in the last 30 days, hey, I wouldn't use a tool that is actually not approved by LinkedIn because you're actually violating terms of service. So anytime you're using a new tool that's kind of hacking or growth hacking a tool, and it is not an approved API, okay, what happens is you can actually become blocked. Now, for me, it would be absolutely devastating if I did not have access to LinkedIn. If LinkedIn went away from me, not only would I cry because I do so much business on LinkedIn, but it's not like the best way that you could be doing things. And here's why. If you use a tool that is automating content, there is a reason why LinkedIn places a cap, even on paid memberships, of how many messages you can send a day, because you're not supposed to send garbage messages. I would say of the 25 to 75 messages I get a day, probably one is of value. The rest are either using the same provider or the same crappy outreach. There is a reason why I get a high response rate on LinkedIn. I probably only do 5 messages a day, but those 5 messages are hyper customized to the people that I'm reaching out to. Now, why does this matter? Well, this matters because people actually respond because they're like, pattern interrupt. Someone actually looked at my profile. Someone actually wants to get to know me. Someone's actually being respectful about how they approach me. Okay. The other thing to note is that if you have a platform like this is a platform to me. I get pitched LinkedIn automation all day long. And I warn people that I work with, hey, I know it's going to seem really attractive to send out 200 to 500 messages a day on an automated basis. The problem is if you're using a tool and a provider that is not approved, you will go into like LinkedIn jail. A couple of things happen in LinkedIn jail, by the way. Either A, they decide, hey, we've looked at this behavior. They might give you a slap on the wrist. The second thing that could happen is that you're canceled. You are not allowed to use LinkedIn anymore. You won't be able to use a profile. Like it's pretty crazy, right? So to me, we know that most people, when you look up a LinkedIn account or when you look up someone's name, their LinkedIn is the first thing that's going to come up. So if you know that that's the first thing that's going to come up, don't put yourself in a position to get blocked, right? That's bad automation. Second thing about bad automation, okay? Bad automation looks like I sign up for an email list and within 2 days, I have 25 emails in my inbox. That's bad automation. You know why? Because most people, if you're like me, I have like a subscriptions at executive cat herder email. So like, I'm not even going to see that, right? It's not even going to me. So I think there's a couple things that you have to do when it comes to bad automation. Good automations, confirming people bought a course, inviting them to a Facebook group, really having a targeted offer. Absolutely. Someone opens the email, more automations go. Yes, that makes sense. Crappy automations are just kind of these spray and pray, like overly dramatic copy is what I like to call it. Now, there's two ways that copy can be used, right, to connect. One is if you actually are having a reasonable conversation and you do want to get emotional and personal, right? If you're having a big event and you had a big life-changing moment and you want to tell that story, absolutely. But if every single email that I get from you is this long, dramatic thing, then that can happen. The other thing to keep in mind as I see people that are on here, oh my gosh, hi Melody, nice to see you again. Awesome. Hey Todd, nice to see you as well. What we notice, someone was saying, hey, I wasn't sending emails, but I got banned by LinkedIn. So typically LinkedIn doesn't ban you unless other people have reported your behavior as abusive, or again, you're using non-approved LinkedIn tools, or you could even just be emailing like too many people with a link, like affiliate links. That can also get you blocked. There's a ton of different ways that can happen. But specifically, there is a rise of tools right now claiming to be LinkedIn automation or people. So let's think about this, guys. If you hire someone to manage your LinkedIn and they are not in this country, okay, well, LinkedIn's going to know that unless they mask their IP, right? So they're going to know, okay, multiple people are going into this thing. Then they're going to look and see, is this behavior consistent with a human being? And the funniest thing is, right, it's an AI tool deciding if it's human behavior. And then from that, you'll get, okay, maybe I should or shouldn't be doing this. Now, this works as well with Facebook. Lots of people promising things like scraping from Facebook groups or, hey, we're going to do this. Anything that violates LinkedIn or Facebook terms of service or any of that is really, really important. For some of you guys, LinkedIn and Facebook are your lifeblood. For some of you guys run Facebook groups. Melody's a great example, right? She's got a great Facebook group for Amazon Live creators. If you run that type of group and your Facebook gets shut down, okay, and you've built all of this audience in a Facebook group and you don't have a secondary admin for that group, you're screwed. You're not going to be able to log in your group. You're not going to be able to collect your people. You're not going to be able to talk to them. That's why I try so hard to talk about good versus bad automation. Okay. Good automation serves you well, allows you to connect with people in the right moment. You basically, anytime someone's opened something for you, you can sequence things appropriately. But if you are doing the same message to everybody, it's kind of like, ladies, back me up here if you remember, it's kind of like someone just asking everybody on a date. I don't want to date everybody, right? And if you look at it that way, it's like, oh, okay, everybody is not for me. Who is for me, right? And you set up that process that is sustainable. Now, a lot of times I talk about consistency and process, two things that are not sexy in entrepreneurship, but two things that are very essential in entrepreneurship. And I think what ends up happening is a lot of times people go, oh, well, this is a quick way. This is a quick way. So that quick way could ultimately hurt you because you're not going to be able to be on the platforms that you want to be. And that sucks, right? And Melanie, she nailed it. I would be sad. Yeah, I would be sad for you too. I would be sad for you guys if you did anything that violated terms of service. So if you don't know what terms of service are, or you're not even sure of like, hey, how do I find out if, like how do I know if something is approved? The good news is that LinkedIn actually provides you with a list of, hey, these are our approved marketing partners and our solutions. These are the things that we approve and we allow. What you want to do is when people come to you and start to pitch you this LinkedIn automation stuff or any of these things, you need to say, hey, how are you guys an approved partner? Are you guys, doing X, Y, and Z? And they have an entire page and section in their marketing solution that talks about all of the approved, maybe they're not LinkedIn direct, but they are approved partners. Really, really important stuff. So if you're not sure, what you can do is you can go here And it'll tell you, these are our marketing partners that are approved. So if the vendor that's pitching is on this list, chances are you're going to be okay. You're not breaking TOS. Okay. If you use another partner or you use someone that's claiming to be a LinkedIn partner and they're not on the list and they don't have documentation, you risk getting your account shut down. Now, I've seen this with Facebook. I have a couple of friends who were using some automation tools that also were not Facebook approved. And the end result was they got banned from Facebook. They had communities. This is actually how I inherited my first Facebook community of more than 27,000 people. We built that group up from, a couple hundred to 27,000. My partner signed a deal with somebody to automate all of that content, to automate a bunch of stuff, to scrape emails, to do all this stuff. And he got his account shut down. Now, by the way, think about your Facebook account just for a second. Think about all of the pictures and the video and the memories that you have created on your Facebook account, right? Think about that. And then think about it's gone. It literally is gone. You can't get those videos back of your kids. You can't get every day. Like it's your online yearbook, right? So things to note. Hi, Mikey. Nice to see you. The things to note about this is really look at, is it worth losing access to a tool or a platform to get ahead? Some of you guys might say, cool, I don't care, right? I'll just hire other people to do it, so it won't affect me. But it will affect you. Again, if I look up my own name, the first thing that comes up before my own website and properties is my LinkedIn. I would never want to lose a tool that I use primarily for business. Same thing with Facebook, right? I've got pictures of my kid and my daughter. So in the race to execute, just make sure that you're looking at kind of the pros and cons of good and bad automation. Bad automation also looks like, again, not just over spamming people, but not really thinking about like, hey, maybe I don't need to do a monthly newsletter. Maybe I do a monthly, live stream, or maybe I do a weekly this, or giving people options and then listening to those options. So you guys know that I don't really do aggressive monthly newsletters. It's because I used to stress out about doing my monthly newsletter. And if I didn't feel like I had something of value, I didn't want to send out a bullshit marketing message. It just wasn't resonating with my brand. So I stopped doing that. So you get to create whatever works for you. Now, on the last piece, I know that I was going to give you some information really quickly. There is a tool out there called Tilda. Now, what Tilda does is it actually allows you to create a really cool landing page. We're in holiday season right now. People are really trying to figure out, oh my gosh, how do I get some sales in? Maybe you don't want to spend tons of money on a website. Maybe you just want to get somebody to book to a Calendly appointment. So I'm going to share a tool that I think is really, really great. And actually is really cost effective because it's free. It allows you to have one website. So that's Tilda. You don't need any code. What you can do on this website is really simply and easily drag and drop to build a page from a bunch of blocks. Simple to do. You drag and drop a block in. You can add links to a Calendly. It's pretty simple. Now, the coolest thing about this, and I'm going to show you kind of the back end of the tool, is that if you do decide that, hey, I want to pay the $20 to do something, it actually gives you like a little micro CRM information. So you can collect emails. So if you're trying to build your end of year list, if you're trying to sell a product, right? This isn't really meant for if you have like 100 products. This is meant like, hey, I have one offer, one thing. I'm going to show you what this looks like so that you get an opportunity to dive in here. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. This is Tilda. So this is the Tilda page. And so right now you can see we have some different, campaigns that we're doing, but I'm going to go ahead and hit start a website. I'm just going to call this the test website. Okay. We got that, create. And we can see now that there is going to be a blank website that appears. When this starts to load, what you'll see is you have the ability to create pages within this website. Super, super cool. None of this requires a ton of effort. So if you can use a Google Sheet or a Google Slide, you're going to be fine. Let's go say, hey, what do you want to create? Do you want to create an event? Do you want an offer? And I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I have an offer. Let's create that. And it's going to spit out a page for me. And in one page, all I have to do is literally fill this page out, right? You fill up, it's telling you what to do. You need to put a headline here. You need to do this, right? You need to put your logo on the top. Hey, you don't like this photo? Hey, we have other ways that we can look at these photos. And you just click and it says, hey, maybe you want an image with text instead. So you see how quickly that changed. Oh, hey, maybe I need text, but I want an image like this. Great. So we're going to use this one instead. That looks cool. And then we can obviously swap out the text to be whatever we want. It's going to tell you write some words about your company. And then maybe, hey, these are the services you're offering. So this is really, really simple. And it's like having a marketing worksheet. It's actually going to tell you what to do on each piece of information, right? And then again, if you actually want to change out, hey, I don't like this call to action. And you say, I just want, a form. I just want someone to give me their email, right? Super easy. It gives you one website for free. If you want to add some of the extended features, you can do that. But the other cool thing is it's easy to use, right? You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to know all the high-level technical stuff. So a couple of things happening. Events are going up in the Strategy Solved group. So the way that these live streams will be working kind of moving forward is we're actually going to teach the whole process of building that page, but only in the Facebook group. So I talk about it here. I'll give you the high level. Here's the tool. But if you actually want to see is like, how do I build this? How do I do it? You have to come into our Facebook group. So I hope all of you guys have had a really, really great morning. If you are not members of the Facebook group, certainly let me know. I will get you in there ASAP. I also just want to let you know that I appreciate all of your time this morning. It has been so fun coming on here and just kind of sharing resources. If you have any questions, just say hi, reach out for sure. The Facebook group, I got a message asking. Yeah, so the message, go ahead and comment invite, and I will go ahead and make sure that you're in that group so that you can learn all that stuff. I really, really appreciate all of you guys coming in this morning and learning and choosing to learn before 9 o'clock. I mean, it's 7:30 in the morning. So congratulations to all of you guys that woke up today and decided to join me. And I hope all of you guys have a great day.